Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss string slicing. So let us first understand what string slicing actually is. String slicing simply means taking out a substring, which means when you want to take out some portion out from a string, then you can use string slicing. Now when you are doing string slicing, you have to use this syntax. Now it has 3 parameters in it. Each is separated by the colon sign. Okay, the first parameter is start index, the second is stop index, and the third is step. Okay, the start index parameter decides from where you want to start your slicing. Okay, it can be a positive index or it can be the negative index. The second parameter is stop index. It simply decides where to stop. But you have to remember that stop index is not included in the output. That means the slicing will stop one place before stop index. So for example, if you have specified your stop index value is 5, then it will stop at 4. If you have given it 3, then it will stop at 2. So this is what stop index means. The third parameter is the step parameter, which decides 2 things. First is whether you are going in forward direction in the string or you are going in the reverse direction. Okay, so this is decided by the step parameter. The second thing it decides is that by using step parameter, you can skip characters. So if you want to skip 1 character or 2 character, you can do it easily by making changes in the step parameter. Okay, so let's see this with help of few examples. So I am keeping this idle window open here along with this chart which I explained earlier. So let's store a string first. S is equal to Python. Fine. Now the first example is that I want to take out first 3 characters from this string. So what should I write here? S square brackets. The first thing is the start index, which is of course 0, then colon. Now the stop index should be 2, as you might think, but if you write 2 here, as I told earlier, this 2 will not be included in the output. Okay, so the slice will stop at index 1, which comes before 2. So if you want 3 characters, that is 0, 1 and 2, you have to write 3 here as the stop index value. Then the colon sign again, the step parameter. Now as I told earlier, the step parameter decides 2 things. The first is whether you're going in forward direction or in backward direction. Okay, or it decides number of characters to skip. Fine. So I'm going to write 1 here for now. Now if you write 1 here, it means you are going in forward direction. That's the first thing. Or if you write any positive value here, okay, it decides or it tells the system to go in forward direction. So this is what this stop parameter means. Also, if I write 1 here, it means I am not going to skip any characters here. Okay, I want to go 1 by 1. So this is the slice of taking out 3 characters. So when you press enter key, you can see 3 characters are coming out of the given string. Now remember, there is no change in the original string when you are performing slices. Okay, of course if you want, you can store them in a variable like s x is equal to s 0 colon 3 colon 1, and when you print X, it displays the same thing. So this is what it is. The second example I'm going to show you is, what about this slice? S colon colon. Now I have not written the start value or the start index, the stop index and step parameter. So this slice means the system does not know where to start, the system does not know where to stop, but the step parameter by default is taken as 1 here. Okay, so step parameter is very important in slicing, guys. So when you don't write anything in step parameter, it is treated as 1 by default, which is of course an indication that you want to go in forward direction. So logically, if you think from which index it should start and at what index it should stop. Okay, so according to this explanation, it will start from index 0 and it will stop at the last character. In fact, the last character is also going to be included in the output here, as you can see. So when you write colon colon in the string slicing, it will take the entire string, all the characters in the output. Understood? Now suppose I want to take out first 3 characters from the string by using negative indices. Can I do it? The answer is yes. So what do you write? S square bracket, the start index is -6 colon, the stop index should be -3 here. Okay, this is the block. So I want it to stop at this block, that is -4. So if you write -3, then only it will stop at -4. So I have written that, and then the step parameter is of course 1, because we are still going in forward direction and we are still not skipping any character. So press enter key, and as you can see, you get the same output P, Y and T. Okay, so you can use the negative indices with the slicing as well. The next example I am going to show is a slice which takes out last 4 characters. Okay, so how do you do it? You write S and the start index should be 0, 1, 2. Okay, 2. So I'm writing 2 here, colon. Now what should be the stop index? Because if you write 5 here, which is the 4th character of course, but if you write 5 here, let's write 5 and see what happens. And of course you are going in forward direction. As you can see, it displays THO, that is THO, and it is not included. So the problem here is, since 5 is the last index in the string, what can you write here? Okay, so the answer is you can write 6 here, although 6 is not an index in the string, but since when you write 6, it is supposed to stop at 5. Okay, and that is how it is going to work. So you press enter key and you see 4 characters are displayed. You can achieve the same output simply by writing 2 colon 6 here. Okay, so here what happening is, your start index is 2, your stop index is 6, and since you have not specified the step parameter, by default it is taken 1. So remember, the default parameter is always 1. So this is how it works. Another way of doing it is, you can write 2 and colon. It still works. So what does it indicate? That the stop index is also optional. Okay, you don't have to specify it. It all depends on what slice you want from a string. So in this case, I have written nothing in the stop parameter. So this will mean that you want to start from 2 and you want to take all the characters. Now here all the characters means including the last character. So this is how it works, and of course the step parameter is by default 1, so that is that can be omitted. The next example of slice for achieving the same output, last 4 characters, can also be written like this: 2 colon colon. As you can see, it works the same way. So how does this work now? Again, the reason is same. Nothing is written in stop parameter, nothing is written in step parameter. So it takes all the characters from 2 and going in forward direction. So this is also possible. Let's take another example where you want to take out last 4 characters but by using negative indices. So can you do it? Let's try. So what should be the start value here? Okay, so I want to take out THON by using negative indices. So the start value should of course be -4 here. Let's write -4 colon, and can you leave the rest? Okay, this is the big question. So press enter and see, it works. So the reason is again same. You want to start from -4 index, and if you don't specify the stop index, it will take all characters, and in which direction? Forward direction, because the direction is decided by the step parameter, remember. Another way of doing this is that you can write -4 colon colon. Of course it works the same way as what we saw here. The reason is all same. Another thing is, if you want to skip some characters while doing slicing, can you do it? Let's try. So what I'm going to do here is, I want this character P, then I want to leave Y, then I want T, then I want to leave H, then I want O. So it is a skip of one character in the slicing. So how do we do it? The start index is 0 here, colon, and I want to include all the characters or the entire string in this slicing, so I can leave the stop parameter here. Okay, now the big question is, what should be the step parameter? Can you write 1 here? If you do so, it will take out all the characters as what we saw earlier. But if you want to skip one character, you have to write 2 here. Okay, so see, it displays PTO, which was what I wanted. So remember, if you write 2, it will skip 1 character. If you write 3, it will skip 2 characters. If you write 5, it will skip 4 characters. And if you write 1, of course, it will not skip any character. And this is how you can remember this concept about step parameter. So the next example, I want to skip 2 characters from the string. Okay, so how do you do it? S colon colon 3. Do you think this is going to work? As you can see, I have not written anything in the start value, so it does not know where to start from, and I have not written any stop value, so it does not know where to stop. But I have written 3 here, which is a positive number. So first thing is, we are going in forward direction, and since the value is 3, this means we are going to skip 2 characters while going in forward direction. So just observe the output, it says PH. So how are we getting this output? By default, it is starting from index 0 because we have not written anything here, and of course we are going in forward direction, so we are starting with 0. So P is coming out, then 2 characters are skipped, that is Y and T, and then H is coming out. Then again 2 characters are skipped, and since this is the end of the string, it stays here in this output. So this is the way of skipping 2 characters. And of course you can write the same slice by using other logic. Like you can write 0 here, you can write 6 here, and you can keep 3 here because you want to skip 2 characters still. Okay, so as you can see, it works the same way. So how is it working? Starting from 0, stopping at 5, not 6. And while doing this, go in forward direction and skip 2 characters. What if I want to use negative indexing here to achieve the same output? You can write this negative index -6 here. You don't want to specify this stop parameter because you want to cover up the entire string, and the step parameter should still be 3 because we are still going in forward direction. That's why it's positive, and we want to skip 2 characters, so it is 3. So as you can see, it works. So while doing slicing, one thing you should remember that there might be multiple possible solutions of a given problem. So this is what it is. Now we want to learn how to reverse a string, or how to apply slicing in reverse direction on a string. Okay, so first thing first is think about this slice, colon colon -1. Okay, now one very important concept again you have to recall here is when you don't specify start parameter and when you don't specify stop parameter, okay, it is in which direction you have to go here is decided by the step parameter. So if it is positive, you are going in forward direction. If it is negative, you are going backwards. So since first time I have written a negative value here, so this will first of all this will mean that we are going in the backward direction. Okay, we are actually going in reverse direction. So obviously where to start from in reverse direction? I have given nothing here, so by default it will be taken as the last character as the start value. And again, I have not written anything in the stop parameter as well, so by default it will go from N to P, where P is also included, remember, because we have written nothing here. So as you can see, the string is reversed. Another way of doing it is you write 5 colon colon -1. So 5 is the start index. Here it is. Nothing in the stop parameter, so it will cover up the entire string from last to first, and -1 of course is deciding which direction we are going. Since it's -1, so we are going in backward direction, and 1 means we are not skipping any character while going backwards. So it works the same way as you can see. Now think about this slice, S -1 colon colon -1. Should it be displaying the same output? Let's see. The start index is -1 here. The stop index is not given again, so it will cover up the entire string, and we are going in backward direction indicated by this minus sign, and there is no character skipped. So it displays the same output, and you know the reason why. There's one more slice you can use here for reversing the string, and that is you write S -1. What if you want to specify the stop index here? So what stop index should I be writing here? See, we are starting from this character N, which has the negative index -1. So we are going in this direction and we are not skipping any character, so this step parameter has to be -1. But if for some reasons I want to write something here, okay, then what can it be? I cannot write -6 here, because if I do so, it will display last 5 characters in backward direction. Okay, but it is not including this p in the output here. So what change should I make here to make sure that the entire string is reversed? Okay, so I have to write here -7. Now of course -7 is not included here, but we have to stop at -6. That's why you can write any value which is going before -6. So this is how it works. Can you write any value such as this? Now it looks funny, but should it still be working the way it should? The answer is yes. Okay, if you write any index which is not part of the string, by default it will take the last index according to the direction in which you are going. Okay, so this is also possible that you write any value which is beyond -6, remember. Okay, and that can still work to achieve the desired output. So I hope this concept is clear to you of how to reverse a given string. Now you can also skip characters while going in reverse direction. So what about s::(-2). Now what output we can expect from this slice? Again, I'm so sorry, I have written the wrong code here. Yes, now it's correct. Okay, so no start value, no stop value means it has to look at the step parameter. Is it a minus? Is it a negative value? Yes, that means we are going in backward direction. And from which index it will start going in backward direction? The last index. Why? Because negative value is there. Second thing, it has 2 in it. Okay, it is -2, means while going in backward direction you are going to skip one character. Okay, so let's observe the output. It says NHY, which means N is the start value, O is left, then H is taken, T is left, Y is taken, and then P is left, and that is the end of the string. So it displays NHY. So I hope this is clear to you. Same thing can be written as 5::-2. Of course 5 is the index of the last character, so we are using 5 here as a start index. No stop value because I want to include all the characters in the backward direction. So should this still be working? And of course I have to keep it as -2 because I want to go backwards and I want to skip one character. So as you can see, it gives the same output. What can be the other way of doing it? I have to keep -2 here, there's no doubt about it. What else can I write here? Can I write -1 here? Should this be giving me the same output again? Let's see. -1 is the negative index and we are going backwards, skipping one character, rest is same, so it is also giving me the same output. Can I write -1:-7:-2 here? It also works because -1 is the start index and again -7 is the stop index, so it will stop at -6 actually, and we are skipping one character going in backward direction. So all these are different ways of applying slicing on a string while going in reverse direction. Now there are few more slices that I want you to think of. Okay, so for example s::2:. What do you think of this slice? The start index is taken as 0, the stop is 2, so it should stop at 1. Nothing is written in step parameter, so it is 0 and 1. What do you think of it? It says PY, that is 0 and 1. So I hope this is clear to you. The second thing I want you to think about is if you write 0:: 4 colon minus 1. Now I would like you to pause this video for a moment and then think about the output and then carry on and see what it actually displays. Okay, so let me explain this first. You have written 0 and 4 here, and this actually is an indication that you are going in forward direction, but the direction is decided by the step parameter, as you already know now. So when you write -1, the start index is taken as 0. Okay, it will start from 0 index, and when you are talking about going back in backward direction, there is nothing before this 0. Okay, so when this happens, there is actually a conflict. What is that conflict? By writing start and stop, you are giving it an indication that you are going in forward direction, but by writing a negative value here, you are giving it an indication that you are going backwards. So both the effects are cancelled and it shows an empty string. I hope you understood the concept. And remember, not even 0 will be included in the output, as you might assume that it was supposed to display the 0th character at least. Okay, but it is not the case because -1 is written here. That's why it doesn't work that way. So remember, by writing start stop in a way that gives an indication that you are going in forward direction, and by writing minus a negative value here indicating that you want to go in backward directions. In both the cases there is a conflict, so in these type of cases it will display nothing, empty string you can say. Okay, so one more example, S 5 colon 2. What should it do? Think about the output. So the start index is 5 here, which is this. The stop index is 2 here. So where is 2? Here. So we have to go to backward direction if you want to, this stop index considered in the slice. So in order to go to backward direction, you must have -1 written in the step parameter, but that is not the case here. So the start index is 5, the stop index is 2, and what is written by default in the step parameter? 1, and 1 is a positive value, so you are telling it to go in forward direction, but by writing 5 colon 2 here, you are telling it to go to backward direction. So let me remove this because by default it is 1 only. So what do you think about the output? Again, same is the case. Okay, because you are telling it to go to backward direction here, and by keeping 1 in the step parameter, you are telling it to go to forward direction. So that is simply not possible. So again, both the effects are cancelled and you get the empty string here. So these two situations are very important for you to remember. Okay, now one more interesting example. Let's take S colon 4 colon minus 1. When you press enter, you get N as the output. Now how are we getting N as the output here? Let's see. You have not written anything in this start parameter, but you have written 4 in the stop parameter. Okay, so you might assume that 0 is taken, or 0 can be taken as a start value, but as I said earlier, when you don't write start or stop, what is to be taken is decided by the step parameter, and in step parameter here in this example we have a negative value. So by writing a negative value, your start value will be the last character, which is this. Okay, and where are you asking it to stop? At index 4, that is this index, and as you know, the index 4 is not included in the output, or will not be included in the output. So what should be the output? N. So again I'm explaining it. The start index here is not taken 0 by default because we have a negative value here. So it is taken as 5 by default, or -1 by default, you can say. Clear? Now we are at N and we are going in the backward direction. So where to stop in going backward direction? At index 4. So this is index 4, and since top value is not included, it will stay here at N. So this is how it is displaying us N. Okay. One last example here. S colon 3 colon -1. Now if you understood this slice, you can easily tell the output of this slice. Okay. So again I have written nothing in the start index. So what will be the default index taken? Depends on this step parameter. So since I have written a value here, -1, the start index will be taken as what? The last character. Okay. So we are starting from N here. And where are we stopping? Index 3. Here is index 3. So index 3 will not be included in the output. So we'll stop at O. That is index 4. So when you press enter, you get NO, N and O as the output. So I hope this concept is clear to you. So that's it for string slicing. I hope you have understood all the concepts. I would strongly recommend all of you to perform different slices on a string to have a better practice of this concept. Thank you so much for watching. Do like, subscribe and share my video. Thank you so much.